I'm Summer. Let's talk reptiles. So next week, I'm getting my boobs cut off.
Holy shit!
What?
I've just had a transgender operation. Ah!
And before I do, there's a lot of work around this reptile homestead that needs to get done. So let's get to it. Whew, the sun is bright. Melanin pop. What? What? Melanin popping. There's a few things. Ooh, there's a few things that I need to get done. Or actually, a lot of things that I need to get done. One of them is getting my watering setup finished. As you can see, can you see? You can kind of see. There's things in my yard that are on my sprinkler system automatically doing its thing. I am running some lines for a couple of my creatures that live outside so that their watering needs can be automatically taken care of. I'm going to show you some things. I haven't showed you anything in a long time for what's happening in my yard. So I'm going to show you some of these things and you can come along with me while I do some stuff. This one is going to be kind of informal and, whatever. Let's go. I love my little reptile homestead life. In my front yard right now, I have garden beds going with vegetables happening in them. Right here, I have some fava beans, I have some corn. There's a whole lot of kabocha squash and Japanese watermelon that are going to be popping up in this bad boy soon. I'm also turning my front yard into a wildflower patch. It doesn't look like a whole lot right now, but there's seeds all over this bad boy that I'm hoping with some tender, loving care are going to pop up eventually. There's these beautiful guys. This is like a zen moment. I should play some soft, sweet music. Encourage you guys to meditate. Breath in, breath out. Yeah, so I'm hoping for this to become a wildflower patch. I planted a whole lot of seeds that are all native California wildflowers. I put those guys in like last week or so, and we'll see what comes of it. Hopefully, I'm not wasting a whole lot of this precious water resource for nothing. I'm really into my reptiles, but I'm also into creatures in general. I want my yard to be a home for the bees, for the pollinators, for the hummingbirds, for all of that good stuff. So it can be a place where they can come get a drink of water, get their grub on, all of that good stuff. Let me show you what else is going on back here. So my two of my Joel Lacertids are in here, Samson and Delilah. Samson gives zero fucks. But Delilah, she has always wanted very little to do with me. It's all good. Here, I have some carrots happening. Back there, there's some garlic. Some peas doing their thing. I honestly can't tell you everything that's growing in this bed. I kind of went a little wild with the seeding of the things. I do know there's tomatoes because I put them in there intentionally. Well, I put everything in here intentionally. This guy's going to flower and then I'll know what it is officially. I think it's supposed to be marigolds. We'll see. Right here, we have some sunflowers, potatoes, potatoes, potatoes. I'm still working on this bed. Those bad boys are some cucumbers, potatoes. There's a couple of that are volunteer. That's a volunteer potato. That's a volunteer potato. Sunflower. And this beautiful vining gorgeousness is a kiwi plant. One of the only kiwi plants that can asexually self pollinate. I don't need a boy, only a girl. She's a lesbian. Lesbian kiwis. Her name is Jenny. Huh. Over here, I have my artichoke. This guy has done so much over time. And there's about 9 artichoke coming in right now. Probably gonna eat some of those guys today. Some more fava, some more corn. The rest of my situation, I have this gravel area in my yard that I was never a super huge fan of. It just made everything look a little too clean, a little too formal. So I'm kind of letting the weeds and the grass take over. I cut it down, turning it into kind of like a dead lawn. I really wanted to look more fairy like back here. So, yeah, I have chameleon enclosures back in this bad boy. I converted this one into a garden bed. And right now, one of my beautiful, beautiful, awesome girls are in here. I just set her up in here for the summer today. I'll just show you the footage I took of me putting her in here because she wants me to leave her alone, and we're going to do that. So, what are we working on today? I'll show you. I've changed out a few of my sprinkler heads with these guys so that I can directly run irrigation lines. Some of them are already done, like more potatoes. This is going to be ginger if it ever decides to come up, but there are more lines that need to be ran, and I've been working on that all morning. I didn't force you to watch me do the boring part of connecting lines and running them around because I mean, that part, I'm sure you know what that looks like already. Right now, I'm just going to go through, tell you what some of my plans are, do some of the connecting. I don't know. I really don't have a plan for this. This is impromptu, just recording content, showing you what I've been up to. Yeah. This guy is my greenhouse. Inside of here, I have a two-toed. Inside of here, I have three-toed box turtles. My girl Elba is over there. You can't really see her. I'll put in some footage of what I recorded of her earlier. My boy Idris is in here somewhere. I don't know where. I've not seen him in 2 days. That is stressful. When I first started keeping chameleons, one of the things that would stress me out beyond end is not being able to find them in their enclosure. Like when I first started keeping them, I had so many scare moments where I thought they escaped, but they didn't. They were in there. This greenhouse is that times 100. I come here multiple times a day just trying to find them and make sure that they're okay. I've not seen my boy in 2 days. Theoretically, I know he's just fine, but it's still pretty nerve-wracking. Back to the video. So this is their pond situation. I'm still making it pretty. I need to carve the foam, paint some things, all of that. My main concern was making sure that it was functional, and it is indeed functional, which makes me happy. There's one lonely goldfish in this bottom pond. I'm going to eventually add more fish in here. I really enjoy plecos. I'm thinking that this would be a really good setup, easy setup for breeding some Bristol nose pleco species that I really enjoy. But for now, I just have one lonely goldfish. Over here are more lacertid enclosures. Fun fact, lacertids come from, like, we can just say the Mediterranean, Spain area, Istanbul, and the weather there is very similar to the weather here where I live in Vallejo, California. So I try to keep them outside. I have like one lacertid, two lacertids inside. One is kind of young, and then the other one is sick. So I'm in there treating him, rehabbing him, all of that fun stuff. But for the most part, I like to keep these guys outside so that they can live. Oops. So that they can live in a habitat that it gives them like everything or a lot of everything that they need. A part of what I'm working on today is running lines to their watering tubs so that it can automatically refill with water every time the sprinkler turns on. I have Samson and Delilah set up with this same system, and it makes it where they always have fresh water. The water turns on from the sprinkler, overflows those tubs, and keeps them good to go. All of these guys in this enclosure were imported from European lines. They all came from the Ukraine. All of them are unrelated to each other, and they are my main breeding group. Samson, and Delilah. Those guys are from U.S. lines and are like just beautiful. These guys aren't quite sexually mature, just quite yet. They are 2 years old. They have one more year before they are going to be sexually mature and old enough to reproduce if they choose to. It's up to them. I don't want to force them to reproduce. I have them set up in their enclosures. If they decide, I have a pair in each enclosure. I monitor them closely. They get along really well with each other. If they do decide to reproduce, then that's awesome. And if they never, ever, ever, ever make little babies, I'm okay with that as well. Look at this girl. She's so dang cute. Hi, Mama. Hello. Hi. Hi. A part of what I'm doing today, I have this water line already ran to these enclosures. I'm just simply plugging into them and then adding this extension line, which is going to run down. Can we see it? There to their water tubs in each of their individual setups. That is going to make sure, as I already said, that it overflows and they always have fresh water. I'm going to go ahead and get these few connections done and then show you what it looks like. This is the setup. All of these guys on this end, I've already finished remodeling. Well, almost finished remodeling. But this one, I still need to get that work done on. Here's my girl right here being so cute. Hi. So once that's done, that tub is going to be over to where this nozzle is. I'll show you what that will look like. Just like these guys, the hose runs in from the top. The nozzle ends inside of the water. When the sprinkler system turns on, it will overflow this, and voila, fresh water. All of this is also planted with dandelion seeds. I've been watering it on a regular basis so that it can grow. This is going to provide these guys with some ground cover. Jewel lacertids mainly eat insects. Sometimes they will eat other things like plant material. So growing this dandelion in here will give them one, ground cover, it'll give them more shade, and it'll give them an opportunity to eat a few things. The way that I have these set up, I used these leftover roofing tiles from my house. I used these guys to create access points for tunnels. They can go inside of any of them. This little girl here has a tunnel in the front, also has a tunnel opening in the back that goes under this mound, and then she has all of these as well, along with the wood for climbing. This is a brand new revamp on these enclosures, trying to give them access, more access to the vertical space inside of this enclosure. So over time, plants will grow in. I'm gonna add more wood, all of that fun stuff for these enclosures. These guys here are my melanistic jeweled lacertids. You saw that with the other girl over there, but I hadn't mentioned it yet, so I thought I'd throw that in there for you. I'm going to finish off the jewel lacertid enclosures, getting them all plumbed, and then we'll go over to the greenhouse and I'll show you what I need to do in that space. Next up is this guy. So I have this line here that's going across the roof, but the way it's really going to be set up, I'm going to drill a hole in the side, and then I'm going to run this on the inside of this setup. I'm going to add sprinkler heads along the way, so that way when the sprinkler system turns on, it will spray a mist, a rain, what have you, over this whole enclosure, watering all the greens that live inside of here, and also helping to boost the humidity and the overall enclosure. So I'm gonna get working on that. The hole is drilled and the line is ran inside. The goal is to run the line across this guy all the way to this side of the setup. I'm honestly not quite sure how I'm going to attach it and how I'm going to make all of that work. So I'm going to go ahead, putz around, try different solutions, see what'll get this job done, and I'll show you what I ended up figuring out. We have a visitor. Hey there, Elba. Nice to see you, pretty girl. She is the prettiest three-toed box turtle female I've ever seen. She's so amazing. Bye. I decided to keep it simple. I went with silicone and duct tape. The silicone will hold it in place, glue it in place, and the duct tape will hold it in place while the silicone is drying. One of the first things I realized was that the tubing fits perfectly in this groove. So I ran the tubing up along the groove there. The loose parts are loose because I'm going to cut it, and that's where I'm going to add nozzles. So I'm going to add one there, there, there. You get what I'm saying. I'm running it all the way around here, looping it back, and I'm going to connect this line into that original line at the beginning so that we can make, yes, another manifold. I may do like a bracket in a couple of these places, like run it from here to there to reinforce the flow of water going around the manifold, so we'll have really good water pressure. But I ran out of supplies, so I have to go do a hardware store run so I can get more connectors and more of that good stuff. And it's starting to get hot. I started not as early as I should have, but early enough to get work done before the sun got too high and it got too hot outside. So I'm gonna cut this off for right now. In the next video, I'll show you all the systems completed and fully working. Until next time, y'all. Oh, what do I want to do for my outro? Let me think. Oh yeah, so the typical: like, subscribe, share, tell a friend, all of that good stuff. I really am going to try to start posting more regularly. I have an idea for how I want this channel to move forward, and I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to tap into all of the things that I really enjoy a lot: reptiles, exploring in nature, building enclosures, and photography. Yeah, we'll see where that goes. So like, subscribe, all of that fun stuff, so that you can see what I have up my sleeve a little bit later down the line. I've already started shooting content for the first video that is going to be, yeah, that's just going to be an experiment under this new style of video that I want to start shooting. Hint, hint, I'm shooting in Utah, the desert of Utah. I'm not going to say anything else outside of that. What else do I want to add? Fuck capitalism, free Gaza, ceasefire. You can't love the reptiles without loving the people and the lands they come from. I'm out. Education is king. Education is king.